estate. I just want to talk to you guys about, where you want to be. Question is, where do you want to be and when do you want to be there? As we talk about the cycle of life, and we have to be able to predict the outcome so that we have, an outcome that's for certain in terms of our financial planning. And, when do you want to be retired? And how much time do you have after that? And so, in a very, very important part of understanding that is understanding rate of return on your investment, and understanding, what rate of return and how that impacts how much time it takes for you to grow your money, and how much time it takes for your money to disappear. So once you get into that retirement age and so forth. So there's a formula. It's called the Rule of 72. It's I think Albert Einstein said it was the seventh wonder of the world. That's how impressed he is with his understanding of what this is. And it's very simple. It's not complicated, but it is important. And it's important that you guys understand as we apply it to rate of return and appreciation and all of these numbers that we're talking about. It's very important that you understand the rate of the Rule of 72. So let's get into it here. The Rule of 72 is simple. It says that you take the number 72 and you divide it by the rate of return. Okay? So let's say, and that'll equal the number of years to double the dollars, double the money. Okay? So for example, let's go down here to 5%. In an earlier video, I talked about getting 5% appreciation on a $400,000 property. Okay? Well, how long would it take for that property to double? Okay? So if you apply this formula, the Rule of 72, to this 5% appreciation. Now remember, you're getting 5% appreciation on a $400,000 property. You've only got 80 grand invested in it, right? But 5%, it would take 14.4 years for the 400,000 to double. So you can apply that to anything, but the difference is, so let's say you're 40 years old and you say, I want to retire when I'm 60, so I've got 20 years. Okay, well, how many times do I need to double my money? Okay, well, at 7%, if you're getting 7% return on your money in the stock market or whatever, it's going to double twice, because it's going to double twice every 10 years at 7%. It's going to double. So if you're getting 7% on your stock portfolio, okay, you've got $200,000 in a stock portfolio, it's going to double twice in 20 years at 7%. Okay? So that means it's going to become 200 is going to become 400, and then it's going to become 800,000. So you can predict that 20 years from now, you're going to have $800,000 if you're getting a 7% return. That's why getting the rate of return high, okay, the higher the rate of return, it has a critical, huge impact on on the outcome at the end, and getting you to your goal much faster. And that's why the power of leveraged real estate, which we've talked about, or we're going to be talking about, leveraging real estate, because you're putting down less money, okay, and achieving a rate of return on the, a 5% appreciation on a $400,000 house. Well, that $400,000 house is going to double in 14.4 years. And I find this is pretty true around Puget Sound. This has held pretty true for the last 40 years I've been doing this. So that this number has been really true if you go back in time at 5%. But you're only putting, you're putting $80,000 down on a $400,000 property, and that's if you're putting 20% down. And there's ways I've talked about where you don't have to put that much down. So which dramatically increases the amount of money that you have invested in the property. So when you leverage other people's money by buying real estate, you get a much higher rate of return, and you can double your equity much faster than you can at, say, 7 to 12% in the stock market. I generally, I see 20, 25, 30% on the conservative cash capital that I have invested in real estate. Pretty consistently, I see 20-25% return on the capital that I have invested in them. So there you go. That's just the rule of 72. It's very important to understand this. How you take the number 72, you divide it by the rate of growth or appreciation, the rate of return you're receiving on your stock portfolio or whatever. It's going to take you, like for example, 72 divided by 6%. It's going to take 12 years to double. 72 divided by 4%. It's going to take 18 years to double. Well, if you don't have 18 years, that's a problem, Houston. So you look at where do you need to be, what kind of rate of return do you need to be to achieve your goals so you can get to where you want to be when you want to be there. There you go.